Good afternoon, everyone. It's another My Music with Graham Coath. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking to Michael and Tish about the new Beauty and Chaos album. I'm so excited for this interview. This is going to be fantastic. But first, let's have a word about ergonomics from our sponsor. I need to get going, Matt. I'll see you later. Really ought to try and get you guys one of these, and then we can have a fight.
Yeah, she just saw it, and I said, "Don't worry, those we each get one in our gift basket."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's an amazing, clever thing. These things.
Yeah, it looks cool. Our is sitting on top of my keyboard controller right now. So.
Oh well, the company behind this have been doing all sorts of funny posts and memes on the internet lately. Because it's amazing what people have been putting their laptops on during the pandemic in order to get them to a proper height.
Yeah.
You've had tops of dustbins, ironing boards or whatever, But when you think about it, a computer costs so much money. Imagine putting it on the top of a dustbin and it just sliding off. There you go. Especially if you've got a whole album on there. Imagine that, and you lost the whole thing. Tragic. Have you ever lost that's an interesting question to start with. Have you ever lost any music?
We've certainly had issues with Pro Tools and things like disappearing and kind of the ghost in the machine happening. I think we end up recovering it. We just lost the work hours and then the stress and the hours of your life and everything. Gray hairs trying to get it back. But
you never get those times back, do you?
Nothing to where it was just gone for good.
You see, everyone that's listening that isn't a musician and had a similar situation with Excel spreadsheets and the report for the boss the next morning. It happens to musicians as well.
I mean, we definitely do redundancy backups. I have so many hard drives and backup and backup to backup, and
yeah, you just have to keep backing up, etc. How much of your music actually is computer generated these days? How much do you actually make on instruments, and how much is generated by a computer in some shape or form?
I mean, most of what we do is guitar, live drums, bass. I mean, there's some synth stuff on the first record. There was absolutely none. I took that old Queen moniker, and no synthesizers were used, and we created all the sounds, with guitars and pedals, and I still really enjoy using that. But there's a little bit of synth, so I guess pressing a plastic key, and that's generated from a program that we have in Contact or Omnisphere or something. But I'm gonna go ahead and say 85% what we do is not in the computer, but everything we record is in the computer. We couldn't do this Beauty and Chaos project on tape. It's like Cynthia Hussey sang in Brazil, Elena sang in Italy. I think the only people that sang in the studio on this record were Tish and Whitney. Pinky and Betsy both sang at their home studio. So, technology is good and bad.
Does the inlay come with a map where people recorded various bits? That would be good, wouldn't it?
That'd be so cute.
Yeah, I should put that up on the our site and just let everybody pin
the tail on the musician. That would be good. Tish.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. You sing on the opening track.
I do.
Of this album. Fantastic track.
Thank you so much. Afterlife is a very special song to me. So thank you.
Yeah. Why is it special to you?
Because it really delves into those near-death experiences that so many people talk about, and it's trying to give a glimpse to what each person will go through when that time happens to them. And we all die, we all go somewhere, and I thought it was really a important idea in my brain to try to express to everybody what I think that is. Or I had experienced that when I was 18. It's a long time ago, and I don't really remember I was out. So, to me, it was really like, getting this big idea into like one really sweet, flowing song and saying, this is my experience and this could be your experience too. And it's not so scary.
No, do you know what, that song is so epic, Michael? And can I just say that song is the closest you've got to disintegration without it being disintegration.
We did it.
Yeah, I mean,
you know it's true. That song is.
I mean, that record to me has a feel from top to bottom. You put that record on, I think it changes the temperature in the room. It kind of gets stark and cold, and I always look for, like, the opening track I call Afterlife, the needle drop. I go back to like the first impression you get when the needle dropped, and that to me, before it became Afterlife and was just a piece of music, it felt right. It felt like that's how this record should start. And it's a different arrangement. I live under the same roof as this lady, but I didn't hear her working on the song. I heard it the first time when she came in our studio and sang it, but I kind of told her, and I did reference like Untitled and Prayers for Rain and stuff. Not, it sounds like that, but the arrangement, there's not like this big, and here comes the big chorus, and it raises to, a major key, and it's an obvious lift in music that the song does kind of do this. And that's not the easiest for a singer to write to, because we tried purposely to make that the arrangement that way. And as the chorus, the "Where Is My Angel" part only that she created only happens twice in the song. Yeah. So it's a different arrangement, but yeah, there's certainly a nod to the Disintegration album. I'm being an idiot if I say no. What record? I've never heard that one.
well, look, there's far worse reference points you could have in life, isn't there? Yeah, absolutely. And what you were saying, I would say, is absolutely right as well. For me, this is the most complete piece of work you've done.
Oh, wow.
From start to finish, it really does flow amazingly. Are you really proud of what you've managed to achieve?
I'm proud of all our records, and of course the newest one is the newest in my brain. But yeah, I think the idea of going at it, that it was going to be 6 songs, I think helped. And it was, I had probably talked to at least a dozen ladies that were lined up to sing on this. And I do hope to get to work with them, but just in, everyday life with, me having a day job and a family, and Michael Rosen, who's a big part of what, Beauty and Chaos with me, he was doing the Ministry record at the time, and he's also going to play pedal steel with Jerry Cantrell on his tour. So there was this thing of going, if I don't stop it and go, this is what the record's going to be, it could take another 6 months, 8 months, or a year. And I was, determined that we were going to come out with this in early 2022. So, and also look at things in the context of what fits on an album, right or wrong, going, if once it goes over 40 minutes of music, I'm going, either got to continue like the first record and go, it's going to be a double vinyl, or it's got to go to tell someone, hey, I'm sorry, your track is only going to be on the CD. I can't fit it on the vinyl. So there's a lot of reasons, but I think it's always important for us to, being that there is a revolving door at singers, that it, to keep the record cohesive, to not sound like a bunch of like not a best of, just taking 10 tracks from 10 different bands and making a compilation record. And I think even with the first record, we've managed to do it. And this one, I think, was a bit easier, that we limited, going, hey, it's going to be all females. But very proud of what we created. And I think I speak for, not only Michael Rosen, but also the 6 ladies that are featured on this record. I mean, they made it possible.
It's such 6 distinct voices. That's what I really love about it. It's just so different. Nobody's trying to sound like somebody else. I love that.
Yeah. No, it makes for, but that actually means it's even more of an achievement, I think, because there are 6 distinct voices. There's a lot of difference between the songs, but they do coherently code together so well. That's the thing that really comes over in this. It really coherently comes together as one piece. Is there a? Would you say there's a theme for the whole thing as a whole? I mean, you talked about near-death experiences for the first bit, but
I mean, I never tell any of the singers, male or female, what to write about. I mean, I have my little 30-second spiel of what beauty and chaos, beauty in chaos, and then beauty and chaos. So
means
combine the two. And I mean, some singers have taken it more literal. I think Pinky Terzo, who does Not Your Fault, really, and Tish both have delved into something that was really deep on them in their own lives. I think Elena's song comes from I mean, she lives in Italy and has a bit more of a political vibe to her, and
dystopian.
I mean,
dystopian about it.
She speaks out about that. So I think she took her song, but I think everybody writes, and I think the best songs are where the listener can plug themselves in. Everything isn't so literal. Like, this song is about this. Like, I think someone can listen to Afterlife and kind of inject something else into it, and those are the best songs, I think.
Have you had any feedback from
you and make?
Yeah, have you had any feedback from people that have listened to it so far?
I think, yeah. I mean, it's only been out a couple of days, but I've had people write, and they all have their favorite songs. And I mean, Afterlife has gotten a lot of attention. I think that maybe it's just the disintegration vibe, or maybe it's that it touches them in a way. But and two of the songs have already been out already, with Orion and The Kiss of the World. So I think they're digesting 4 more, and then in typical Beauty and Chaos fashion, we throw a whole bunch of remixes at people.
Whole bunch.
I think the reason with Afterlife is I think actually it's actually quite rare these days to find the opening song on an album that's so powerful.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it used to be the thing. I think people used to be so careful about it, but I think there's a lot of albums out there these days. Yours as an exception, but I think there are a lot of albums out there these days where the opening track's almost like just a lead in, waiting for the single behind it, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I know for a fact a lot of artists aren't looking at it as a piece of work. Like, it is either setting up a single, or it's just a series of singles that they've put out that ends up going, the record company wants to put out an album now, so put them all in a jar and lay them out. I mean, I spend probably too much time juggling the order and seeing what would work, but I mean, that's a fun part for me. I look at it in the how I listened to music when I was younger, when it was only vinyl. And, I think the ending track with Grasp the Straws with Betsy's Coal Stars. They say straws.
Straws.
I am grasping at straws because it's
more
early.
More coffee.
But I think that Coal.
Which was a great Marillion album, by the way, folks.
But I think that's a really nice ending too.
Yeah.
Like, just bam, and it's over. So, I look at it that, and then when someone puts it in a CD and hits shuffle, all that work's gone right out the window.
Oh, yeah. Well, why would they do that? No, look, people don't put CDs in and do shuffle. The trouble is, as we know, that people listen. Look, we know that people stream stuff, right? And then that's the problem, because they just go straight to the singles, or whatever's been publicized, and they go, oh yeah, I'll listen to that. And then they don't listen to the whole thing. But I really encourage everyone to listen to the whole thing with this, because otherwise you're missing out big time.
Yeah,
absolutely big time. In terms of your name as the project name, the beauty bit. Let's go to the beauty bit on this album, because you've written some really beautiful songs on this album.
Thank you. I think maybe. I mean, this definitely harkens back to, I know I referenced Stranger, that we did with Cat Leone as being the thing that that ending the last studio album was where it kind of started my brain going, maybe that's the bridge to what this is going to be. And I try to put, Michael and I in sort of a box, like limiting something. So this time I limited no guy singers. So it is, that self is a little bit of a box. But even when you go back to the first record, the 3 songs, with Betsy and Tish are both on Finding Beauty in Chaos, and also I Will Follow You with Evie Vine, have that sort of delicate kind of beauty to them. I write, Michael and I write a little bit different, knowing a girl's going to sing. So I think, Cynthia Hussey's track is gorgeous. I think,
absolutely.
That up until that point, I thought that I Will Follow You was when I listened to it, even instrumentally, is probably the piece of music I'm the most proud of. But when I listened to what turned into Open Wound Heart musically, I think we struck some, really nice chord structures and, that kind of stuff that, made me really proud. But, when it got to the end of the record, I think we flipped it a little bit, and Grasp the Stars is probably one of the heavier things that we've written since maybe Unnatural Disaster on the first record.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Maybe
that's where you're going next.
A bit of a nod to this. It could be. I thought of that. Well, maybe does that lead into that? I certainly have that side. I love distortion, and that is probably musically the biggest element of chaos on this record. There's the screechy feedbacks and the over the top late 80s arena goth guitar. There's no metal.
Well, look, Tish, I don't see him doing a techno record any day now. Do you? That's not going to happen. So, the other thing that comes out of that is, and with some of those songs, is when you listen to them, you'd think this would sound great with an orchestra as well, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I do think it has this very cinematic vibe to the record, which is why I really, enjoy, I think, all this entire record. I'm hoping that we get videos for all the songs. We're working Afterlife and Open Wound Heart. We definitely have kind of storyboards for some, really cinematic, different videos for. But yeah, the idea of having this played with orchestration. We try to do that with the way the guitars sound and the way the parts work, and then Michael, like some of the synth parts of, they're not just, 80s, move.
Hold that triad for 10 minutes. Yeah.
It is meant to sort of, I think we have some pretty good string libraries in our studio. So they are, when you hear a synth on this record, it is our attempt at like having a little string quartet or something playing it. But yeah, that would actually be, that would be a moment to actually hear like a real orchestra play this.
Well, there you go. If there's anyone that's listening and, is a fan of Beauty and Chaos and actually happens to play in an orchestra or has an orchestra that's lying about, not doing anything at any time, Michael would love to know.
Yeah. All in.
He'll more than happily take you up on the offer of, re-recording one of the tracks with an orchestra, or maybe even playing that live. Fantastic. You've said before that this isn't a live band, but are you at all tempted to take any of this out in any shape or form?
I think it would be a shame for this to end, like however it ends, when it was just time, or just interest wanes, or my interest wanes in doing, or it becomes no longer fun. I think it would be a shame for that to happen and this not be performed at least once. I don't think it's possible to do this on tour, as much as I think at one point, playing, LA, New York, Chicago, New Orleans, then, Paris, Rome, London,
Berlin.
Berlin.
No, I'm thinking more like the Royal Albert Hall, something like that with an orchestra.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Just like one night only, you know.
I think if it was going to happen, it would be sort of something like that, like 2 nights, one location. The more singers that come into the family, the more of a chance there is, I think, to get enough people together that could do it. It just increases the odds that, hey, on this date, in this date, it's enough people saying, yeah, I can do it. I mean, if it was to happen, we would probably do it, probably Los Angeles, and hopefully film it, do like 2 nights, and you have somewhat different show the second night, and maybe film a rehearsal and then the 2 shows. And I mean, I'm dreaming aloud here. And then,
but come on, you know that people would buy that DVD.
I don't know.
That DVD would sell.
We talked last time. I don't know if people will buy anything. I mean,
don't you? Come on.
You're going to wind me up on that again, but
no, I do, because people love this. Come on, people.
Please buy the music. Please buy the physical copy. And I try to do it from a point that it's not just, please buy Beauty and Chaos. I try to do it from a point of any artist that you like. If they make something physical, buy it. If you want to hear them do it again, make more music,
Yeah.
If it's a throwaway band.
I was just going to say, Michael, I don't know whether you heard the news, but we've actually had a new vinyl pressing factory open up in England.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually think I read that. I had some people ask me why this record was limited, and I think we did 200 copies or maybe 100 copies. I'd have to check with the label. But the place that we've used prior, first there was a big plant that was open in Los Angeles, right in Canoga Park, that has been open for like 60 years that closed. And they had like, we did Finding Beauty and Chaos there, and it was, I think, like 22 pressing machines. It was great. It was like this old place, and people were on top of the machines pouring the colored little marbles in. It was just like gorgeous. And that closed. And then when we went back to the place that had pressed Out of Chaos and The Storm Before the Calm, they quoted as 65 to 75 weeks. I mean, do the math, that's over a year. And it was just like, I mean, with people's attention span, who's going to really care in a year? So we found Ashton Knight, who's a good friend and a big part of what we've done. He ran into that same problem for his Awakening album. He found this place that specializes in short runs. They're about 4 times the cost of a vinyl, like what you would pay. The colors are limited. There's a lot of limitation, but we got it. They quoted us 12 weeks, and they actually delivered it to us in 10. So that's why we went limited on it. It was just out of necessity. If we were going to make this on vinyl, we had to do that. So I'm happy to hear that they opened plans, because I think the reason they were quoting so long is that there is a little bit of resurgence in vinyl. But you take a big artist like Adele will go, oh, we need to order 500,000 copies of vinyl. So they take up any plant that's open. They monopolize all the time.
Yeah, it was all the artists beginning with A, you see. So B, you were second in the line.
Yeah,
that was the problem. Adele came first. ABBA, they took most of it. So by the time you got round the B, well, you had no chance.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and change the name to A Beauty in Chaos.
Yeah, and then you would have been fine, Michael. They would have been straight. You would have been straight.
Clever and stupidity, but
you would have been absolutely fine with that. You would have gone. You jumped straight into the top of the queue. Yeah, that's what it is. So what? So seriously, what's next after this?
I think it's doing. I have a bad habit of not letting records breathe.
Yeah.
Are you going to let this one breathe then?
Well, I'm sort of forced to do it only by, like I had mentioned, that Michael Rosen is playing with Jerry Cantrell, the Alice in Chains guitar player, has a solo, and a really great record. And Michael is a gorgeous pedal steel player, so he's going out on tour with them. And so in a way, it's kind of forced me to step back. I mean, I'll be in this place, my home studio, kind of working on kind of just seeing if it's picking up from Betsy's track, and the next thing is heavier. If Michael wasn't going on tour, I would have probably jumped in and did a couple of singles with some of the girls that I had talked to, that I've kind of promised, and a few that we've actually even started little bits of ideas. But there is sort of a forced hiatus, but in that hiatus, we'll be doing at least 2 videos for this. And I'm trying to convince Miss Pinky Terzo to do a video for her song too, which would give us the full collection. So, I mean, I'm enjoying doing videos too. I mean, I'm not acting like I'm a filmmaker or something, but the idea of seeing that turn into something is almost rewarding.
Well, there you go. Look, all of your videos are always epic. So the next thing you should release is a DVD of all the videos.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And
there you go.
You keep wanting to push stuff that people think should be free. It's like, hey, that's a gorgeous DVD. Is it on YouTube? You know, I mean, that's you get with people. And, you know, you wound me up last time on this, but I'll say it again. People, you go in Starbucks here and someone will order, give me a Trente vanilla latte with extra, and they'll go, oh, that's $9.50. Here, swipe the card. And you go somebody with music, it's like, oh, is it on Spotify? Is it on this? People don't want to pay for that. So I think maybe the DVD is probably just like the CD, like people is a coaster. I mean, I hate that. And yeah, I would probably do it on DVD just to go, here it is. I mean, I think that would be
coaster.
I had somebody say that. I think it was, they said they took their CDs to the show, and people went, oh, what's that? A coaster? Like, in all seriousness, no. I mean, no. But yeah, it would be somewhere if, I mean, we actually thought about doing this record, and I talked to Tim from the little label 33 1/3 going, what do you think about, since this has 6 songs, putting all the DVDs? I had him check to see how many of them could fit. And we thought about making it that way, but then that runs the price up, and it's just like, I don't know. So maybe it still comes, you know, we'll see.
Well, I don't know. Look, you know, you're always an entertaining person to have on this program. So maybe what we need to do is start Michael and Tish TV. And just think about this. Maybe, I mean, actually, have you got any hidden skills, Tish? I mean, you know, do you crochet, or let's think, what else are people into these days? You know, maybe Michael's a great cook. Is he?
Yeah,
he's learning. He's getting a lot better.
He's getting he can bake beans on toast now. Yeah, that's.
I should bring this up that we are doing a sort of a documentary of the making of this record. The people, Ryan Martin and his Jammerzine, Jammer Direct, they did that sort of documentary before, Behind the Chaos, Remixing the Beauty or something, and he was new to it. We had some footage, we had like phone interviews with still pictures, and it's on YouTube and our channel, but we filmed interviews with each of the 6 girls on this. There's a little bit of some footage of Michael and I in the studio. So it's going to probably be called Unveiled, which is really more them, the ladies, talking about the song, how we met, how, you know, just something like that. So I think most of the footage is in, and I'm hoping that's probably going to come out in April or something. I mean, I'm not doing it. I'm just helping facilitate getting the footage, and we'll be involved, of course, in the editing. But that's actually going to be a nice look for people who kind of want to see where the songs came from. Each singer certainly has their forum to talk more about the song that they do. And I think one great thing about Beauty and Chaos, again, is going back to the lyrics that, you know, I think the people that do are fans of Beauty and Chaos do look at the lyrics, and it's not about, oh, I love that song, it's got a great guitar solo. I mean, that's never been what it's about. It's, I love the voice, I love the words and everything. So
The story.
yeah,
Mhm.
so they'll have a forum to actually talk about that, which I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. Oh dear. Sounds like someone's really upset that they can't get that DVD, Michael.
Yeah, he's in on it.
Yeah, he really wants that. Listen, as usual, it's been an absolute pleasure having
So
you
fun.
on.
So fun.
Well, there you go. It is every single time. I'm looking forward to buying my tickets to the Albert Hall. It will happen one day. Don't worry, my friend. It really will.
I appreciate it. You always take the time. You definitely ask intelligent and relative questions. You know,
Well, you know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day.
you always wind me up just that little bit so I can.
Just a little. Well, but you know, it's good. Buy a Beauty and Chaos T-shirt and the album and everything else.
I don't want to make it about money, you know, because thankfully I have a job, and this isn't our. If Tish and I were in a little apartment,
Which we used to be.
it would be different. But
it's not about the money. It's not about the money, is it? Going back to what you were saying earlier, though, it's about people should buy this stuff because you've made it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, and I'd like the label to continue to want to do it. My worst fear is the day that the label goes, we didn't sell enough of them. Let's just do this digital. And I think my balloon would be bursted quite a bit, and my idea of, becoming totally giving into the digital world would probably put an end to Beauty and Chaos sooner than I think it should.
No, Michael. Before that happens, we will start.
No, I'll kick and
yeah, well, and we'll start Beauty and Chaos TV as well. Don't worry, that will happen. We'll get loads of celebrities involved. It will run all day. In fact, it will be ginormous. It will be the new MTV.
It could be.
It could just be.
We need to spin the CDs. They're not CDs, they're coasters.
Yeah. We can show people what to do with their coasters.
Yeah, you Brits put your beers on them,
I've got enough.
Put your pints on them.
Yeah, line them up. All those ABBA CDs, all those Adele ones.
Hey, they all jumped ahead of us. They were that clever,
They really work tremendously as coasters. Those do. So thanks for coming on. Just so people remember where to go. Where can people go and find this album?
It's on our online store, beautyandchaosmusic.com. There's some really nice insights from each singer and each person that remixed. There's little bits there, but all the vinyl, CD, and digital is there. And, I get the convenience of digital and stuff like that. So anybody that buys a vinyl or a CD or a coaster or a black Frisbee, that they actually get the digital version with them. So it's 25 tracks that are completed with all the remixes and extended versions and stuff. So it's chock full, as they used to say.
Yeah.
But it's on that. It's also the digital versions on Bandcamp. I know people like that. That's actually a cool platform, for doing that. But yeah, it's there. So
okay. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. Hopefully one day someone will find a more sustainable way of making vinyl as well. Maybe being able to recycle vinyl that they don't listen to, stuff that they brought that, that they then Spotify. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All those albums which they buy and they pristinely put in their collection but never actually play.
Yeah.
That really drives me mad. Especially when it's rubbish. If you're going to buy vinyl, buy something you're actually going to play, folks, and or just leave it. Don't buy it so that you could, so that people that actually want to buy vinyl and play it can actually listen to it on vinyl. Thanks. There you are. Rant over.
I take it you're not going to have ABBA or Adele on your show anytime soon.
No.
No, ABBA.
No, I mean they're both talented artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. It's just they don't need the publicity, do they? They really don't. I mean,
So
people were buying that ABBA album even if they didn't know whether ABBA was still alive.
that's true.
I mean, that who knows? I don't know. Maybe you should do a virtual show like that as well, Michael. Strap yourself up with all of those electronics and do all this, and
I'm gonna put that on the list, way at the bottom.
Way at the bottom.
We could do Beauty and Chaos as holograms. That would be something that we could do as a band if we couldn't get everybody. They could be holograms.
Yeah, or you could just invite the neighborhood round into the backyard, couldn't you? And put some speakers up. It's probably better actually.
Fun.
That sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that sounds more fun. Yeah, just roll in a keg or two. I think.
Or I can just drink a bottle of red wine by myself and hurl these little silver frisbee coasters.
Oh, well, I'm coming. That sounds great. Well, there we are. We've booked the next party. Sorry, we won't be on next week because we'll be hungover. But until then, thanks so much for joining me, Michael and Tish.
Thank you, my friend.
Do listen to this album; it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you,
and I absolutely mean that. Thank you so much for coming on again. Cheers. Bye for now.
Cheers.
Bye.